Hello, internet. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Welcome to what's going to be an absolute train wreck tonight. This is Attack of the Unofficial G4 Underground Community Pulse, the show, a Prungles Gamer's Guide. This is a test show, is what I'm calling it. We have an outline and everything for it here. So, but this is, I don't know, there's a lot of moving pieces here. I have a lot of OBS stuff that is barely holding itself together here, so we might see some technical problems, but we'll see how it goes. I have I actually have a things that have gone wrong whiteboard here, so we can keep track of where things collapse on us. So we'll keep a tally here. So if we ever do another one of these, we can maybe fix some of these problems. I am Brian. I previously known as KnuxSonic, back on the G4 boards back in the early to mid to late 2000s, somewhere around there. Also go by BeamUp on Twitter. I don't want to go on about me too much, but I used to run a website called G4 Rewind. It was kind of before the YouTube days, where I archived old G4 videos and history off and on as I had time back then. It still exists, but it hasn't been updated in a long time, and I think it got hacked a few years ago, and I just didn't really put it back together. But now that G4 is allegedly coming back, we have a reason to work on it again, I guess. And I came up with this idea to do sort of a community show. I really don't know what this is, honestly, yet. We're going to figure this out together, I guess. But, just kind of run down like what's going on with the new G4, but also spend some time looking back at the old G4, because there is a lot of history there, as some of you guys know. And I think a lot of fun stuff to go back and unarchive and unearth. So let's check in on the chat room so that I can get off camera for a second here. We have All Games here, which is absolute G4 royalty. All Games says, I feel like I'm watching someone who moved into Pee-wee's old playhouse. Yeah. So this set is something, so I got into live streaming like last year, and I've spent a ton of time just building it. I have more fun like just like building the equipment, hooking the equipment up, making it work, than I do actually doing the live stream. So I spend more time putting stuff together and then taking it apart and redoing it. But I do another live streaming show called Game Socket, which is like a satirical take on live streamers. And so that's where this stuff is coming from. It's still a work in progress, but All Game says, I thought this was a show about stocks. We could talk stocks if you guys, if you would rather talk about GameStop. I know that is a big deal right now. Lots of people getting rich. Not me. I think I've lost like $20 on that. This is exactly what Kramer did on Seinfeld. What G4 stocks would hold up better or worse than Arians of Fastlane, I wonder, says Destroy Tyler. We also got Enun in here. Sorry, the stocks have died. Yeah, I think they shut it down to where like you can't even buy stocks. You can't even buy the GameStop. I went to go buy today on Robinhood, and it was like they had shut it down because they allegedly thought it was not safe for people to buy GameStop anymore, which seems really questionable. But today we've got like I said, I have an outline. I'm going to try and get to it here if I can stop getting distracted. There's actually a bunch of G4 news dropped today, which is through this outline for a loop. But we'll start off with the new, and then we'll kind of shift into the old. So the big news today, I guess the big news that we saw from G4 social media outlets is that they've dropped this video, which is
today on X-Play.
In
5 wedgies.
We'll let it play out here.
To
But
5.
oh, there's an echo. Okay. Yeah, I see it. There we go. So they dropped this. Basically, this video is saying that they're going to bring back Attack of the Show and X-Play, which we kind of already, I mean, it's good to have confirmation, but I think we kind of already knew that. I don't know about what you guys think, but like Attack of the Show and X-Play are kind of their big enchiladas that they had at the end there. That was really, I guess, the only shows they had at the end. And to think that they wouldn't come back, I think it'd be bigger news if those two shows weren't coming back, because that's kind of what it seems like a lot of people remember G4 for nowadays. I don't personally remember those. I mean, I remember those two, obviously, but that's not, when I think of G4, that's not the first shows that come to mind for me, but for a lot of people, obviously it is. It's Electro 3006 says that's their bread and butter. Absolutely. So those two shows are coming back, and then they also gave us the date. Let me cut back to that here. They gave us, well, sort of a date, right? Summer 2021. We knew it was coming this year, but we didn't know when this year. Was it going to be December 31st? Was it going to be in February? We didn't know until now. So, and we still don't really know. Summer 2021, that could be September, that could be May, but we're starting to hone in on a date, I guess. I don't know how you guys felt about that. I was a little bit disappointed. I was kind of hoping for some other shows to be on that list or something else, because like I said, we kind of already knew Attack the Show and X-Play. Icons is one that a lot of people floated. I'd love to see Icons. That was one of, I think, G4's best shows, because that was a very solid documentary series that G4 was doing before we had, YouTubers that were around to kind of fill that void. All Game says you can't call it G4 if it's two shows. And Destroyer Title says Sweat. Yeah, Sweat was kind of the sports game show back then. So I was a little disappointed. Hopefully we'll hear more, and it's probably going to be a slow boil for this news, because with the pandemic and all the things associated with that, I bet they're probably having a fun time trying to figure out exactly how to put stuff together at this point. So the other stuff that came out today is, I'm going to jump back to our browser here. They have another video announced for tomorrow. It hasn't premiered yet, but it's teasing this B4 G4, which I immediately thought maybe, they're going to show, old G4 stuff like, G4TV.com or Filter, that kind of stuff. I don't think that's what this is. I think this is more of a leading up to G4. They're going to do some stuff to kind of fill the void. I think I saw that it was mentioning that they were going to have some like skits and stuff and some segments and just kind of a smattering of things to help fill us over until G4 is back. So we'll see. I guess tomorrow they're going to announce it. They have this sort of, I think, this character here that they've it was Jerry XL. He is the interim CEO of G4, so that sounds kind of fun. It sounds like he's going to be a character that maybe is kind of a wacky guy that's going to have some crazy ideas and, force his employees to carry them out, or who knows, but it seems pretty cool. We'll see more tomorrow. I think this is supposed to be, what time is this coming out tomorrow? 19 hours from now, 4 p.m. my time, which I'm on Central Time, 4 p.m. tomorrow. So I guess we'll see what that is then. It does mention that they will need help from members of the community. So maybe they will make this show obsolete immediately. Maybe, we'll see. But that's good. I guess encouraging that they're going to be at least interacting with the people, because that is something that G4 was sort of founded on back in the day. So let's check in on chat. The chat has been just popping up. I'm trying to keep up with it, but it is scrolling like crazy. There's a brief acknowledgement of cheat during the reunion. Yeah, I don't know what cheat would be like in 2021. Video games don't have cheats really anymore. It's more, you know, you have speed running and you have people trying to cut corners to get through the games as quick as they can. And you have, you know, min-maxing and that kind of thing. You don't really have cheats anymore. So I don't know if cheat can, I don't know. I don't think that works anymore, but someone's saying Arena, I think is definitely a candidate that something that could come back. They mentioned esports in their announcement today. And we know that the division that is now in charge of G4 is also shares space with some like esports teams, like an Overwatch team in Philadelphia. So I think we'll definitely see some esports stuff pop off here at some point. And Wrestling is Life. Yeah, they're one announced. I think their one announced host that they have is Xavier Woods. So I would expect some sort of wrestling crossover too. But we don't know yet. All we know now officially is just Attack the Show, Next Player Back. I hope more shows come from that. Cinematech would be great. Yeah, Cinematech was great. Like Zone Out stuff that you could watch when you just needed something on the background to listen to or watch, or, you know, they have a big library of stuff they can pull from. So hopefully this is just the beginning, but we'll see how it goes. The other videos that have dropped recently are there's an Adam Sessler video.
What game would you rather play at the end of the world? Okay, there's a new
where he and the completionist are kind of going through the games
Halo
coming out
Infinite
this year.
or Back 4 Blood?
I'm gonna say Halo Infinite because I don't want to play.
And it was an
something
alright
that's
video, I
already
thought.
happening around me.
Pretty funny.
Asteroids about to strike Earth
Adam Sessler,
90 to 100
obviously,
hours. Do you play Starfield?
it's been a while since he's been on TV, but it's good to see him back.
What is Bruce Willis playing?
He's a little rusty,
All the
but
food
I
in the
think
world is giving people
hopefully we see
diarrhea.
him back again as
So
a,
what do you play?
host
No
or
Heroes 3?
some kind of primary involvement with X-Play. I don't know that it's really X-Play if you don't have Adam Sessler involved somehow, because he is, I mean, he's been there since the beginning, and he was there almost to the end, right? He left, or didn't leave, he was removed a year or two after the end, but it is good to see him back in this video. One thing that irks me about this is that I wish they would get him some better equipment, because he looks like he's using a webcam here and like a ring light, and then he's using a headset to talk into. Like, send him a Yeti mic or something so that he can get a little production value. When you put him up next to the completionist there, it looks like he's it doesn't look right, I think. So hopefully they can, in his next video, they can give him a proper camera and a mic, so that, I know it's COVID times, but you can still shoot
have
stuff.
more hair than I do. Okay, I'm just getting really insecure. Talk. Why are you here?
Why am I here? Well, today we're here to talk about looking at the new year. We're going to be making predictions.
Sorry, just listening to this video. So I'm getting distracted by this video. So they go through all the games that are coming out this year. They talk a lot about Halo and the other games coming out. Pretty good video, and hopefully we see more of this. I know, again, it's COVID, so I don't know. Obviously they're having some fun trying to piece together how to put, you know, popular YouTubers together with existing G4 talent, and it's hard when you can't be in the same room. But hopefully soon we'll be out of this and we don't have any more pandemic happening, right? So what else? We also had yesterday, was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday, they dropped a couple X-Play and AOTS clip shows. This year is the AOTS one. And these are really just clips of, I wouldn't say they're random clips. that they kind of pieced together, and they're not the best quality. It looks like maybe some of these were pulled off the internet or off of archive.org or something like that. I know that they mentioned wanting to get to the G4 official archives at some point, but maybe they haven't gotten there yet. Enon says shot on Android. Yeah. There's a little production value here, though. They got that. They got that intro there. So just something to tide us over, I guess. And I guess it was actually sort of hyping up today's announcement that these two shows would be back.
I'm Wonder Woman. You may know me from my comic books or my
So yeah, no surprise there. I think we'll probably see more of these as they try and spin up more content on their YouTube channel. They'll probably want to put out videos every week or so, and we'll probably see some more of these best of clips. Here is X Play's best of, starting off with an extended play clip, which is a classic one here.
Hello and welcome to Extended Play. I'm Adam Sessler. Grand Theft Auto is really popular. Old clips.
But yeah, old clips. So, oh, Enon says that's actually from the X Play premiere. I thought that was from the end. No, I guess you might be right. It's been a while since I've seen that one, but I know they did one where he, at the end of Extended Play, where they kicked him out of the Metreon arcade. And I saw him there at that arcade, so I thought maybe that one was part of that too. Chat talking about Spooey, who is the community X-Play archivalist, the librarian of X-Play, I guess. He has been a source of, he's been posting X-Play stuff on YouTube daily lately. I think he's got, I don't know how many gigs of videos he's got on his hard drive. It's got to be terabytes of X-Play episodes. At one point he had, I don't know if he, at the end, I don't know if he had them all, but I know that he had the official X-Play guide of every episode. Like he knew every episode, and at one point, I think, if I remember right, the producers had to come to him to check on which episode number they were actually on because of something got lost in the transition or something, and Spooey was a fan that was tracking it. So one of the pillars of the X-Play community there is Spooey. Other news, whoops, see, wrong scene there. Okay. Some other news on their Twitter and their social media. The other day, what was it, 2 days ago, they asked what shows should we bring back. There were some good responses to this. We have one Laura Foy suggesting maybe a show about kid-friendly games. And then somewhere in here, we have Kevin, someone named Kevin Puriria, suggesting Icons, which I agree, Icons is one of the best shows. And then some coy hints from the other G4 social media accounts. We got the Attack of the Show account on Flying X-Play. I always see that, and I just think of like the social media manager for G4 is like logging into all these accounts and then replying to themselves and trying to keep a conversation running with themselves and just slowly going crazy doing that. But lots of replies, and there was one, do I have it? Oh yeah, and then we have a reply from Victor Lucas of Electric Playground fame and Judgment Day fame, saying that he's gotten a lot of messages from people asking about EP. EP is, of course, still going on YouTube. It's been off the air for a while. I think maybe 3 or 4 years now. It's not been on TV, but he's kept it going on the internet, and he posts stuff multiple times a day. And I don't know, I really don't understand it with Electric Playground. Like, there's so many, like, it is such a well-produced thing, and it just doesn't have as many hits as, like, a lot of junk you see on YouTube. A lot of stuff that's just garbage on YouTube gets tons of hits and tons of subs, and then you've got Victor Lucas, who's got this really polished show, and it's not getting the numbers, and I just don't get it. I don't understand why. It's been going up over time, but it's been a slow climb, and it's rough to see. But it'd be good to see one of those shows, either Judgment Day or EP, come back in some form on G4. And then you guys, I don't know if you guys, some of you have been pumping out some thoughts here in the chat. I'm just scrolling through a couple here. Angel Cam says they have G4 TV collection recorded on VHS, which is you better get those converted, because VHSs they're rotten. They're gonna rot out. Destroyer Tyler says X-Play is his bread and butter. He had a ton of stuff. He had a ton of other stuff as well. I think referring to Spooey. And then BCE on JTV dropping some, to me it looks like out of context facts about the Chaperone, which I'm fine with if we want to start talking about the Chaperone instead, but the voice of Lisa Simpson is apparently in that, so that's good. I'm going to assume that no one brought up the Chaperone, and BCE on JTV just decided to switch the topic. BCE on JTV also says 2015 is when Reviews on the Run and probably EP left G4 Canada. That sounds about right from my recollection as well. So that's about it for G4 news. Oh wait, there is one other story. And this is kind of a speculative story, but there was a news that came up about NBC, who owns Comcast and therefore G4, is shutting down some networks. They're shutting down their sports networks, and they're moving those over to Peacock, it sounds like, in USA. So there was some speculation that I read about, is this a spot that G4 could fill? Is NBC Sports gonna turn into G4? I don't think that's the case. I don't know what you guys think, but I don't think we'll see a G4 TV cable channel again. I think cable is really on its way out at this point. There is cord cutting really shot up the past 5-6 years. You've seen a lot of TV channels go away. You've seen a lot of TV channels scale back. And I don't know that there's much demand on cable for video game TV. Video gamers are traditionally kind of a younger crowd, although we're getting older, but I don't know that they would go buy a cable TV package to watch G4. I think more than likely you're going to see G4 in some kind of digital format if it's on Peacock, or if it's on YouTube or Twitch, or maybe they kind of put some free stuff out on the YouTube and Twitch channels, and then they make you come to Peacock for the bulk of it. I don't know. But I think this is more of just NBC's cutting out some channels and cutting their losses with some of these networks. And it does seem like they're throwing a lot behind Peacock, which is another streaming service. If you guys have lost count, I have. But I have Comcast cable, so I get it for free. For now, anyway. I'm going to jump back over to Chad here. Spooey's here. Spooey says, so I have around 3.4 terabytes of G4 stuff converted from VHS and standard def, each on 2 separate hard drives, plus a bunch of DVDs. I have to convert still, and a box or 2 of VHS tapes that may or may not have additional content. 3.4 terabytes, and consider that a lot of that is SD, so it's not all HD stuff, I'm guessing. probably even none of it's probably HD if it's DVDs and VHS, so it's even more episodes than it looks like. I have some old DVDs that I recorded, and some that were sent to me by people, and I've converted some of them, but there's been a lot of people carrying that flag other than me. There's lots of people on YouTube posting videos now, posting uploads, so I kind of am just I think you guys got it covered. And I'll let you guys handle that, because I don't have the motivation to do it as much as I used to. Back in the day, I used to post a lot on YouTube and on Ustream, and I would get banned for it all the time. I don't think they ban people for it anymore, but back then, this is when G4 was still around, and what I heard from G4 is that they were not the ones banning me or sending me copyright strikes. It was like, just some contractor company that Comcast has that watches the skies for uploads back then. So, okay, that is it for news this week. That went a lot longer than I thought it was going to. But the other things we have on the agenda this week, I don't know if there's going to be a weekly show. I don't know if there's going to be another one of these after this, but the other things I have on the agenda is we're going to do Meme of the Week. There's some G4 memes flying around on the Reddit that we're going to run down, and then we've got some music-related fan art stuff that I thought is going not getting enough attention, so we will look at some of that. Split Vision does not have AOTS 1000. I don't think I have that one either. Was Feedback one of the shows fans voted to make a comeback? So I don't think there was an official vote. There was more just a Twitter post that was like, hey, what shows do you want? And it was just a mass of people replying, and it was, I don't know, it was kind of, they already knew what shows were coming back. It was just kind of the drum up support for, drum up some hype for the today's announcement of X-Play and AOTS, which we kind of already knew, but hopefully that's just the tip of the iceberg. Lots of people hitting up Spooey in chat and just shaking him down for G4 videos here. But I think next up we're going to cut to, and hopefully not break something, our Meme of the Week. Meme of the Week. All right, so if you guys, I don't know how many of you are on the G4 Reddit, which is r/G4 TV, but every week they run this meme contest where you can post some G4 related memes, and if the social media moguls there at G4 like it, they'll share it on their own socials. And it's every Monday. We haven't, some of these that I'm going to show today are not from this week, they're from earlier this month, but we need to catch up, right? That's what my excuse is. The first one, we're going to do some runner-ups first. So before we announce my totally unscientific winner this week. So our runner-ups this week, the first one, the Bernie Sanders meme was out of control this week, not just in the G4 space, but really everywhere. So this one comes from Jordan, who is the meme lord at the Reddit. Sometimes, I think almost every week he wins the most liked meme. So here we have Bernie Sanders at the reunion, the G4 reunion that happened sometime last year during the pandemic. Aired during Thanksgiving. Mecca asks, where's Bill Sindelar? I think he is under the table, is what I'm understanding him, where I think he's camera shy these days, so he's probably under there. Our next meme runner-up is I've already forgotten who this one's from. This one's from Electra 30,006. Another Bernie Sanders, this time hanging out in the back of an Attack of the Show episode. Just hanging out. That's all he does now. That's all he can do these days. And here we have, I'm not sure who made this one, but it's one of my favorites. This is the classic Wolverine yearning meme. And we've got the old G4 message boards here. And if you look a little closer, I'm going to read this message board post. This is a real message board post from the G4 forums back in, I don't know, 2003 it looks like. So whoever did this, edited out the person's name for confidentiality reasons, but it says, quote, "Whenever I beat a fighting game, I start doing the fighting moves. Does character did such as Dead or Alive 3? I play FPS like Halo or Brute Force. I cried when I beated it. And when I play an role-playing game like Morrowind, I dress up in my old Halloween costume, which is Ganondorf the Grey. And when I do powerful spells, I say these little chants. And when I play a game like Splinter Cell, or when I'm sneaking in Morrowind, I steal something, I have to use the bathroom like 3 to 6 times. Tell me, do I have problems, or do you guys and gals also experience this?" There you have it. A classic Jim from the G4 message boards. Why did he have to use the bathroom when he... Why did he have to use the bathroom when he played Splinter Cell, or when he was sneaking in Morrowind? I don't understand. Spooey says they experience that daily. I think that is a medical problem there. We also got apparently there was a UFC. There was a UFC this week. I don't know, but this gentleman here has fallen down at the UFC, and he's saying, "Wake me up when the next Adam Sessler video uploads." And it looks like someone down there in the corner, the left corner, has spilled some tomato juice, or someone has a popsicle that's dripping. I don't know what's happening, but this had 160 upvotes, and this one is by also Electro 3006. Oh, and here's a video one. This one's good. Let me cut the music so we can hear this. This was submitted by also Jordan, resident G4 TV meme lord.
Can we... What the... Yo, what?
What?
What the...
I'm just...
Great one. Almost won, honestly, because I like... That's an Eric Andre show reference, and a well-timed one at that. But this week's winner goes to Midnight Vesper, just because of how ridiculous it is. This is they pulled a clip from the Austin Creed announcement video, where they were saying they announced that Austin Creed was going to work for G4, and they had him opening this suitcase, and inside was this like monolith that sounded like Optimus Prime. So this is our winner. Congratulations to Midnight Vesper. I'm trying to click it on the wrong screen. Here we go. It just keeps going. Midnight Vesper, also previously known as Draguna on the G4 message boards back in the day. Sailor, was it Sailor Man or Sailor Boy? I'm going to say it was Sailor Boy Draguna back in the day. That's what he went by. So that's our memes of the week. Next up, we're gonna jump to some user-created gyms that I have dug up from the internet. First one we've got, and we're a little out of alignment here, but I'm gonna put this on the board for things that went wrong. The chat is covering up the fan art. Here we go. Chat covering fan art. I'd say that's a pretty mild one. We can keep the show going. We don't have to cancel it because of that. Oh, yeah, but when I switch back to this, I bet we're going to find another thing that went wrong. It's going to play this intro again, which I didn't anticipate. But okay, so we've got fan art. This one is also from Electro 3006, or sorry, 30006. This is some fan art of Olivia Munn, who is cosplaying as a sailor, as Draguna, the sailor boy. I believe that she saw his post on the message boards, because there's a post of him on the message boards. This was like in 2003. Dressed in a sailor outfit. She probably saw that and decided to cosplay as him. So some fun fan art. The next one is also from Electro 30006. And this is Dude Manrod, which is a sort of over-the-top character that Kevin Pereira used to play on Attack of the Show. Getting struck by lightning, so, and it's not hurting him. So next up, this isn't necessarily, I say it's art. I don't know what you guys think. This is a Pop-Tart that was posted on the Reddit that was eaten into the shape of the G4 sort of monolith logo. I assume it's eaten in that shape. I don't think it came out of the carton like that. This is from Stoopy Inc. Reddit. Food art. Very... this should go in a museum. I'm gonna say it. It should be in a museum. They'll have to put. Well, no, it's a Pop-Tart, so it's not gonna mold or anything. It's like all preservatives. Next up, we've got some fan music, and I'm gonna switch our tracks to that. There is a G4 Discord. I don't know if you guys have. If you're all there, you can go to the G4. It's an unofficial Discord, just like the show is an unofficial show. But you can go to discord.me/G4TV to get to the unofficial Discord. I don't think there's not an official Discord for G4 yet, unless one pops up today. For the Hungry Gamer, says Spooey, yeah. But yeah, I wouldn't want to eat it. You can't destroy art like that. On the Discord, it's not my Discord. It's a Discord. There is a user that goes by RV, and he has been toiling away for months. I've been in this Discord for 6 months or so, and this guy's been making music the whole time while he's in there. Sometimes it's remixes, sometimes it's original stuff. So let's play some of his music. This first one is his remix of the Arena theme. got a real MIDI vibe to it. It reminds me of like 90s PC games. Next up we've got, there it goes. This is a remix of the X-Play commercial, or intro too. This one is an original song. We're not going to play the whole thing because it's too much long, but this is, RV describes this as if they did an esports highlight reel. BeatSlayer30 says these beats take me back to the days when they play SOCOM and Call of Duty on Arena. Yeah, we're gonna talk more about Arena in just a little bit. Next up, we've got this is an X-Play remix. I think there's a little bit of the X-Play musical in there. And the last one we've got is an AOTS remix. There you have it, some great music from RV. He has a lot more in the Discord, and there's actually a whole channel in the Discord dedicated to just music, just G4 music, and he has got a lot of tracks on there. So if you want more of that, you can check out there. He's also working on a theme for this show for us, and I think actually he's completed it. We haven't gotten it. Oh no, you know what? It wasn't our intro today, so I thought I didn't get time to put it in, but actually, yeah, I did. So there you go. There's some great art. I forgot to play. I made this graphic for Electro, and I didn't play it, so now I'm going to do it. There we go, just so that my time wasn't wasted on that for Electro's fan art. So there you go. That is user created. Actually, we've got a couple more things. Let me see if I remember how to do this. And our Discord. Okay. There's a few other things in the Discord. There's actually a whole room of people just making fake G4 ads, which is wild. We've got kind of more simple things like this. These are intended as like sort of maybe title cards that would maybe air on G4 Network. We got a real slick kind of minimalist wallpaper here. Very nice. This one is from Slimo. Established 2002, reestablished 2021. That would make a good, I like that reestablished. That would make a good thing to put on the bottom of a t-shirt or a hat. And then we've got people making, I'm at Comic-Con, making things like this, which are just sort of quick ads or promos. There's a lot of people in this Discord who are going to school for graphic design or on the side doing jobs, and in their free time just building these fun and sometimes ridiculous promos. Up here, here's some promos for what ifs. These are kind of what if scenarios, like what if Red versus Blue was on G4? What would that look like? What if RWBY, which I think is one of those Japanese cartoons, Red versus Blue. Here's a joke about Portal. Portal, of course, before it was a TV show, it was a absolutely insane show on G4. At the time when Portal was out, I thought, when I watched it, I couldn't wrap my head around it. I thought it was maybe the dumbest thing I'd ever seen, but now watching it again, it was avant-garde in a way that is really strange and a piece of art. Here's a really nice one, Judgment Day. Judgment Day was a great show back in the day on G4. Star Trek, of course, Star Trek was on G4 for a while there. Lots of great stuff on the Discord. If you go to the Bumpers sub-channel there, movies that don't suck, back when they used to air James Bond and all that kind of stuff. We've got Mystery Science Theater, Icons, Cinematech, something called Game Socket, Futurama, QVC. See, yeah, this is where we get really off the rails and we're like, okay, we need to dial it back a bit. These are all done by a variety of people. Music V or RV is in here. Ian, Canara, lots of people in here making this stuff. So if you go to the discord.me/G4TV, you can contribute yourself, or you can just bask in the radiant colors they've produced for us. That about wraps it up for user created. Is that the name of the segment? Yes, user created. Let's check in on the chat room. G4 on QVC, on Bravo, on Sci-Fi, on NBC. I think those are all. I think the joke is that those are all. I don't know about QVC, but most all of those are NBC brands, right? Jesse Valdez says, I'm digging your graphics and supers. Thank you. Like I said, I spend more time putting some of this stuff together than I do actually streaming, so it's fun. Thank you, Midnight Vestiver / Draguna. I hope you caught the Draguna talk earlier. If you didn't, you can catch it on the archive. Will Din, 1990, thank you. Check out Will Din's channel. He streams every night, I think. I think I see Will Din streaming every single night, and I wish I had that sort of motivation. Oh, I have to go back to the VOD, yeah. Essentially, Draguna, what we said was that in this... so Olivia Munn, this is some fan art of Olivia Munn, and Olivia Munn was cosplaying as Draguna the Sailor Boy there, is the joke that you missed. So now you don't have to go back. All right. Checking my board here. We only have one thing that really went wrong so far, which was chat covering this fan art. I think, as far as I've seen. And next up on my list is a little bit of G4 Rewind. I don't know what this segment's called. We're going to talk about old G4 stuff. We talked about the new, the future, the current. Now we're going to go back to the past. And I just need to figure out which OBS screen that we need to be on so that we can go back to the past. I believe it's this one. Let's find out if this is the right one. Together. I'm going to push this button and let's see.
Welcome to a very special edition of Arena. I'm Will Wheaton.
And I'm Travis Oates.
Two teams step in,
And only one will step off.
it's time to find out who's got the stuff of champions on another episode of Arena! Welcome to Arena, the show that turns multiplayer games into a competitive sport.
Right, Arena. Yes, the button did work. Okay, so we were on the right one. Arena, we're going to talk about the alphabetically first, well, if you don't count some of the shows that had numbers in their name, alphabetically the first show at the top of the list for G4. And that's Arena, which was sort of their esports. It was their esports show. I don't know why I forgot that word for a second. And it let's cut to actually I've got a scene for this somewhere. Yep, this is it. It's just not, it's not ready for you yet. There we go. So Arena was their esports show. It debuted at the network 2002, went until about 2005, and was kind of their big get was that they had a celebrity on this show, and at least in 2002, very loosely a celebrity, in that they had Will Wheaton as a host of the show. This is kind of before he got big again. This was sort of in a lull period when after Star Trek had ended, and he had let me know if this episode is too loud, by the way. So he hadn't gotten big in the geek area yet. Like I know Will Wheaton's written like a lot of books, and he's gotten famous for being on Big Bang Theory, and he has his own sort of online empire now. But this was kind of in a lull. So he was hosting Arena, and he was kind of, I think, the only real celebrity they had. The name I wouldn't say it carries a lot of weight, but at least people could turn on the TV and see, like, oh yeah, that's the kid from Star Trek, right? That's Wesley Crusher. Will did in 1990 says, yeah, he's been doing this a long time. I'm assuming talking about Will. Yeah. So the show started out 2002. Will Wheaton and Travis Oates hosted it. I thought that was watching these episodes, it was a pretty good combination. Host-wise, Will Wheaton was definitely yucking it up. Travis Oates, I'd never heard Travis Oates before, and he was kind of also yucking it up. They didn't take it too seriously. This is the very early days of esports. Like, this is not esports by today's standards at all. So, like, what I liked about Arena was that it was a show that these weren't professional gamers playing in these episodes. Typically, they were a lot of times. It looks like people that they had rounded up from the area in LA or San Diego, and some of them you can tell are maybe people who had a clan. Maybe they played a lot on their off time, but they weren't like professional esports gamers like we know today. They weren't signed on to sponsors. They weren't streaming. There was no streaming yet. So a lot of times these were just a bunch of dudes, and occasionally a lady or two. And they did not have, games weren't in an esports ready state like they were now. So there was a lot of instances where actually in every episode they didn't play just one game. They played like 4 or 5 games in the episode. So they were forcing these people into playing a game they weren't necessarily comfortable with, and you could tell a lot of times that these guys had never played this game that they were about to compete in, which I think made it really funny sometimes. And it didn't take itself too seriously. Like, we're watching right now, this is the Halo, this is not a great example, this is the Halo National Championships, which was another kind of big get, I think, for Arena, because this was the actual games championships for Halo. Bungie sponsored this, and I guess G4 got to televise the final round of it here. I remember this. The guy that wins is he pretty much just uses the pistol the whole time, and he really just, there's no competition in this. But most of the episodes were really lighthearted. They would be playing Jedi Knight, Counter-Strike, but also like racing games and some just random stuff. So it was a different time, and it wasn't guys out there to make a bunch of money. It was, hey, we found these four dudes on Craigslist, and they were willing to come in and play this game for 2 hours, and we didn't have to pay them. Probably, I don't think contestants got paid on this. I think that they just got in to be on TV, right? It did come out, so there is a lot of controversy around Arena's past. I don't want to get into too much of it, but it definitely came out that at one point they were sometimes they didn't have enough contestants on a show. They needed a film, and they didn't have enough, so they'd round up people who worked at G4 around the office to fill out teams. Maybe someone wouldn't show up, or someone was sick, or they just couldn't find anyone that week, so they would fill in with randos from around the office. At least that's what was reported. I don't know if that's true, but that makes sense when you've got probably a show that needs to film a bunch of episodes in a week and stuff happens, right? Let's check in on the chat room here. What are you guys saying? Championship Gaming Series in 2008. Yeah. That was I think that got aired on G4 a little bit, the Championship Gaming Series, and it was a sort of like an MLG group. Angel Cam 7 says, but considering how esports has evolved since, it would make sense to bring this back with more variety. Yeah, I think they could bring back Arena. I would not want, I don't know. I wouldn't want to see, I feel like esports today is very serious, and there's definitely a market for that, to watch like people at very high levels playing whatever game it is, if it's Overwatch or Fortnite, PUBG. There's definitely a market for that, but I think there's also something to be said for like your arena stuff, where it's like we're not gonna pull together the top of the cream of the crop. We're gonna grab some random people who play games for fun in their spare times, and maybe they're a little competitive, and then we're gonna have them play some games that they're not used to playing and get them out of their comfort zone, and then put a prize at the end of it. Blue Vision says Arena could be entirely streamed at home today. Perfect show to create during the pandemic. Have it be a live stream event for New G4. Yeah. So I think New G4 should have some sort of esports, and I think we already know that we will have that. But I hope that they also leave space for these sort of like amateur events like this. Maybe even non-gamers would be fun to see too. So going back to kind of the history of Arena, yeah. So we had Travis Oates, Will Wheaton to start it off, 2002. Then some more controversy hit. Will Wheaton left / got fired. There's a lot of conflicting reports about exactly how this went down. Is that too loud? I think that's too loud. I'm gonna turn that down. So yeah, Will Wheaton left / got fired. He posted back in 2003. He posted a story on, of all places, Slashdot, about what happened. And I need to be careful about this, but essentially, I'll put this link in the chat room if you guys want to read it. But he posted on Slashdot sort of his reasons for leaving. A lot of people were like, why is, what happened to Will Wheaton? Why is he not on the show anymore? And he kind of just disappeared one day. and Travis Oates did as well. And there's new people suddenly hosting the show. But he essentially says there was a lot of he had a conflict with the producer at G4. He does not name the producer, but he essentially had a lot of beef with the producer around how the show should be made. He felt like the producer was not taking the show seriously, which I mean, we see in Will Wheaton's clips that I don't think Will Wheaton took it super seriously either, because he's cracking jokes a lot too, which is fine. I think it's supposed to be like that. But he essentially said that he had a lot of run-ins with this producer, didn't agree with how things were being ran. There's a whole bit around the Halo National Finals. Wheaton claims that that was supposed to be an hour-long episode and supposed to be much more grandiose than it was, and it actually got cut down to just a half an hour instead of an hour. According to him, the network made that call. I don't know why. I don't know why they would, because Halo was really big. This was 2002. Halo had just come out. This was the first year of Halo, the first national finals. I don't know why they would think that we couldn't do this why we wouldn't do an hour-long special, especially if they shot an hour-long. I'm sure they had an hour's worth of content to put in there, but for whatever reason, it was cut down to 22 minutes. He didn't like the edit of it. There's also, he goes on, there's a lot of details in here about, he claims that the players are treated badly, treated poorly. I haven't heard that from anyone that's been on the show. Not that I've gone out and tried to find any of these people, but he says that they were treated poorly, and sometimes that they would pull players from one team and put them on another team, and then that player would obviously not play their best because they're playing against their own team. And eventually it kind of ends up with his paycheck suddenly got cut, and the network told him that they couldn't increase his pay for a while. Now this really just goes on. You see me scrolling through this thing. It's a real big rant that he posted. This is pre-Twitter days. This is pre-Facebook, any of that stuff. So Slashdot article on it. Comes to a head when his pay is cut, and he quits at that point. It goes on to say that he has some choice things to say about G4 management, although he does say that there are some people there who are very hardworking and doing a great job, but he just couldn't take it anymore, and Will Wheaton quit at that point. I have heard some conflicting information. There is two sides to every story. I've heard some conflicting information about this. I've heard a bit of the other side. I can't say from who I said I've heard the other side from, but the other side goes something along the lines of that Will Wheaton was very demanding person that requested. There's a bit about the Halo National Championships they were originally supposed to be held in Washington at Bungie's headquarters, and this source says that Wheaton demanded some higher class accommodations and wanted to bring some friends and family with him, and that could not be accommodated, so they had to cancel that and just do it there at the studio at G4 instead. Again, this is all, take it with a grain of salt. But there's also some sources say that Will Wheaton, I've got to be careful about this. So there's some sources that say that Will Wheaton did not always show up to work, and occasionally they had to pull in guest hosts like Dave Cox to fill in for Will Wheaton. I don't know if those were because Will Wheaton didn't want to come to work, or if those were more like Will Wheaton had a scheduling issue. But I don't know. There's two sides to every story, and that's why I had heard that his pay was reduced was because of instances where he was not there to film an episode. So I don't know if he's paid by the episode. I don't know. But this is the only published side of the story, Will Wheaton's side. There are two sides to every story. Needless to say, he didn't get along with the people in G4, and he left in 2003. Travis Oates left with him. Travis Oates is still around today. He is actually I don't know if you guys knew this, he is the voice of Piglet these days in the Winnie the Pooh various media, the movies, TV shows. Kingdom Hearts games, plays Piglet in that as well. He's on Twitter at Travis_Oates. So feel free to give him a follow. But that was the end of the Travis and Will era. Only lasted about a year. Over in chat, BSlayer30 says, I wonder if a show like Filter could still work. Maybe not, because there's so many top 10 video filters. Oh, I mean, I think people have endless thirst for top 10s. So I think Filter would work fine. Spooey says, I believe the producer did post a response from his side, but where one could ever that post today still exists is unknown. You might be right. That rings a bell. I heard through someone else the details that I know, but yeah, I can't remember if someone posted something out there on the internet about it or not. I've heard similar things about Will Wheaton. I don't know. Like, it's all hearsay. I don't know if he's actually a jerk in real life or not, but Spooey says, you would think Arena would be a cheap show to make. Why not make a longer episode? Yeah, I don't know. But, so, after Travis Oates, we got there's some Dave Cox. Dave Cox, I don't have any episodes of his, but he was just kind of sporadically around. I think he was just filling in. But after that, we got Lee Rayerman, who a real muscle-bound guy, but I don't know. I kind of like him. He's kind of like a Schwarzenegger type, where he looks like a big tough guy, but he's actually kind of a nice, funny guy too. He was in American Gladiators back in the day as Hawk, and definitely did not seem like a big video game player, but he was a good actor, a good host. He could make you believe pretty much anything. Unfortunately, he passed away not too long ago. 4 years, 2016, he passed away. He's in a lot of stuff. He's in a lot of movies. He plays bad guys in a lot of stuff, TV shows, movies. And with Lee Rayerman was Michael Loudon, who is another actor that I think he was in Space Cowboys. He was in the soap opera One Life to Live. I've heard that he was a big rollerblader, of all things. So they hosted the show for a while there. I want to say it was a year or 2 years that they were. Arena only lasted till 2005, so it was like a 3-year run. So about a year with these two in charge. Michael Loudon also passed away 2004, not too long after he left Arena. So real tragic. Both those guys are gone now. But I think they were both pretty good. We got some clips here somewhere if I can cut to. Yeah. I think both of them were pretty good. It was kind of a nice balance of like this kind of skinny nerdy guy and this muscle meathead guy hosting. And they didn't take it too seriously either. It was still a show that threw a lot of puns around, and then that didn't hesitate to make fun of the contestants from time to time. they film, and then at this point, the show, they actually started filming it. They took it out of the studio and took it into the esports arena, which was like a LAN center there in San Diego, which was an interesting change, I think. So they would eventually they start formatting the seasons more and more, where they would, if your team won, that you went on to the next episode. If you lost, you're out. And there were some teams on here that just kept going and going, and I think eventually they had to just say, okay, you've won enough. At the end of the season, I want to say at the end of the season there was a like best of the best tournament. Midnight Vesper says, wow, it was called esports back then. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, it was a joke though back then, esports, because we were putting E on the front of everything. Midnight Vesper also says, make Arena more of an esports news section. Yeah. Yeah. That's one direction to take it for sure, is to do just like a ESPN sort of roundup. Yeah, so we're watching this one, this Team Mephisto. And there's also some great this is a great encapsulation of the early 2000s. Dude gamer culture was unchecked and really on display. This guy's big into Doom and Mech Warrior. And this next guy is, I believe, wearing a kilt. Yeah. Yeah. He belongs to a throwing group. I don't know what that is. A throwing group. Is it like axe throwing? Also some great names in some of these episodes. They showed their gamer tags, gamer names. Some of them look like names that had just been made up, or maybe someone else made up for them. And some great acting too, just some great all-around acting by these guys who never been on camera before, probably, and we're just happy to be there.
The Viper is like a snake, and it's cunning, it's fast, has 2 teeth. You know, it just bites and snaps at you. My favorite game of all time, I would say, is Solitaire. You just can never get tired of that game.
My game style is pretty much get out there in your face and keep the other team off balance.
There's some,
grab the flags.
We probably won't get to it here, but there's some great clips of
kick butt and take names. You're going down,
of some of these guys just getting into a game, not specifically these guys, but some of these players in some of these episodes who just have no idea how to play the game at all. I've seen some Mech Warrior ones where they're like, it's a capture the flag, and they just are going to the flag, dying, and no strategy at all. Just running in there, not sure what buttons to hit, and so on and so forth. So we had Rarerman and Loudon there for a while. After them, Loudon left, Rarerman stayed. We got this combo for the last year of Arena, which was one Kevin Pereira, who fresh promotion off of being a PA for G4TV.com, now hosting a show, Arena, in its last year. They've gone back to the studio, it looks like, in this season. Rarerman's there, and actually they also brought in Stacy, and I'm gonna mispronounce her last name. I think it was Barceletta, who came from the merger with G4 or with Tech TV. She was a producer for a while at the Screensavers, and then suddenly a host on Arena. So that's awesome. And of course, Pereira, did a few other things, hosted a show called Attack of the Show for 25 years or so, 25 seasons. The former cable television darling went on to, I forget what his role was at Super Creative, but he was a producer of some kind at Super Creative, which was just a production house. After G4, he was at Hack My Life on True TV. I think in like 2018. He also helped form The Attack, which was sort of the Twitch follow-up of Attack of the Show that unfortunately wasn't successful, but that was one of the most well-produced shows on Twitch at the time. It was like 2-3 years ago. I mean, even today still, if it was around. It was like a TV show produced for a Twitch audience. Didn't take off, but it was definitely sort of a homage to Attack of the Show. And then a game show host on Let's Ask America. I don't know if Let's Ask America is still on these days, but I think in the first 1 or 2 years of that show, he was the host of that too. So nowadays, it's real. We don't know what Kevin's up to now. He was in the reunion special, right? And from his Twitter, it sounds like he's been busy doing some things, some mysterious things. We don't know what. I think I saw that he bought an RV and is like doing production out of an RV. So that's very interesting. But we'll see if he'll be back with G4 or if he's going to do something else. Hopefully he's back in some capacity. Because he is really, I mean, he was arguably the longest tenured person at G4 because he was there for G4TV.com in 2002 or so, all the way until, was it 2011 when he left? And, probably titled like Adam Sessler, who was with Tech TV until, I think Adam left a little bit before him, or was made to leave a little bit before him, but yeah, definitely one of the faces of G4. When you think of G4, one of the first 2 or 3 people you think of. So hopefully he's back in some capacity. And then last but not least, at the end there was now she wasn't always there, but Flo Vinger was also hosting the show. She kind of just popped up as a third host here and there at the end of the run for Arena in 2005. It aired in reruns for about a year after that. So I don't think we really knew at the time in 2005 that Arena was done after that. But I don't know. I remember thinking that the merger with Tech TV had just happened. A lot of shows got canceled. But Arena didn't right off the bat get canceled. So I kind of thought it was safe. And then it kept showing reruns of it for a whole year, and then just kind of dropped off the schedule after that point. So it was back during the G4 Rewind blocks in 2008, I think, but just in reruns. So Spooey says, don't remember those episodes. Yeah, if you're I'm sorry, Angel Cam 7 says, don't remember those episodes. If you're talking about the Arena ones, yeah, the Arena ones, I barely remember Flo Vinger at all. I think she may be a Mandela effect. I don't know, but there's that screenshot of her there. Yeah, we're talking about it looks like chat's talking about Let's Ask America, which was like this weird like Skype in show. It looks like a show that was made during a pandemic because everyone Skypes into it, and it's like it's like a trivia show sort of thing where they pull they put up a poll on their website, they collect, it's kind of like Family Feud, they poll people in America, and then you have to guess what answer got the most votes. Beat Slayer says, I'm sorry, Midnight Vesper says screenshot before the show was canceled. Yeah. So that was kind of the end for Arena. As far as I can tell, Stacy, I'm gonna mess up the name again. Barcoletta. I don't think I think she probably had a career change. That I couldn't find her doing anything else, at least entertainment wise. So I'm not sure where she went. Obviously, Lee Rayerman still went on to have a very successful career after that, up until he passed away about 4 or 5 years ago. And from what I could tell, where's she at? Flo does a lot of editing, does a lot of directing, so she's still in the business. Not in the gaming business, in the entertainment business. So, and then of course Will Wheaton out there just playing D&D all the time, I think, and writing books. Seems like things turned out okay for him despite not locking up that multi-year Arena contract. So, all right, so that's kind of the Arena history lesson. I don't know what to call this that I've got and prepared. My notes are blank after this, guys. I don't know what happens next. I didn't prepare an exit strategy at all. So we can go whatever, what time is it? It's 9:30 my time. We can go just a little bit longer. I think this has been not a disaster like I thought it would be. It's been a little bumpy along the way while I try to collect my thoughts. I'm not used to playing myself on camera here. I'm usually used to playing a character on my other stream. So, but I think things went all right. Scott Rubin was in the chat earlier, so I'm calling it a success. If the co-founder of G4 is watching, then and not throwing up, then that's a success. We can do. Let's check with chat. Like, I don't know if you guys have anything else you want to talk about or speculation. I've got this phone line that we can open, and if someone wants to call into it, you might be able to hear me, and you might be able to hear me. I might be able to hear you, and the stream might be able to hear you too, if all the cables are connected and the virtual inputs are in the right slots, and so on and so forth. My thoughts were to do this show maybe once a month, but also not do it myself, because it's really, I don't know, some people have no problem handling a stream by themselves, but it's really hard to man the buttons over here and also talk and keep a stream of consciousness going, and also like watch an outline and switch tabs on this browser. So it's really helpful to have like a co-host to be able to talk, and then I can like take a sip of Pepsi, or I can fiddle with a graphic or whatever, and not have to fill dead air. So my thoughts on the future of this is maybe we could do rotating hosts of this. We do co-hosts. I don't know. I thought about just saying, whoever wants to host this show can do it, and I can just give you all these OBS assets and make them easy to use. And like maybe one week is hosted by, Wilden. Maybe another week it's someone else, or maybe we just have a co-host. I don't know. We'll figure it out. If you guys want to call in while I ramble here, I gotta remember which. I think that's just a great picture to always keep up on your browser, by the way. This sort of concerned Will Wheaton looking up at you. And I've got the phone number here. Here we go. Phone number is on your screen. 816-200-1174. If you want to talk about G4 or stocks, if you guys want to talk about GameStop stocks, I don't know much about stocks, but I bought some until I couldn't anymore, thanks to certain apps not allowing people to buy things. But today was a lot. I mean, a lot of G4 news came out today. A lot of it wasn't big news though. Like we knew about XPlay. We knew AOTS was going to be in there. We're going to have to wait to see about other shows. Really, we learned at the summer launch date and then this B4G4 era. I don't know what it is, if it's a show or what, but it is going to be something they use to fill the void up until they launch in summer of this year. So sometime between May and September, unless they're going by a different continent. And then if we're talking about Australia, it's summer there right now. So, all right, it sounds like we have a call. We're going to answer it and see what happens here. Hello, caller. You've reached AOTUGUCP:TS What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's Austin Peterson, long-time G4 listener, 2004, G4 Tech TV.
Austin Peterson, thanks for calling. What was your screen name back in the day?
Well, I mean, I never was on the G4 forums. I mean, but I was an active watcher. I mean,
well, you missed out on not a lot, but also a lot on the forums. It was a wild, weird place. But
I mean, I did hear a lot about the forums because XPlay brought them up so much.
Yeah, XPlay, yeah, they definitely love to brag on the forums when they could. That was one of the things I liked about G4 is that they would mention like their fans on the forums and stuff. I don't know if they always were actually in there listening to what we were saying, but they were definitely making fun of us. So.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Since this isn't call for help, I assume I'm not asking you like how to reset a dying hard drive or anything like in that ZDTV promo with the dying old man who is about to be go towards the light, but then he hears about freaking that Leo Laporte or going coming up on ZDTV and call for help. If you're gonna talk about a dying hard drive,
I mean, we can talk tech support. I mean, I learned a lot putting all this junk together. If you guys want to talk about USB bandwidth, we can talk about USB bandwidth and how there's not a lot of it.
All right. So, G4 Canada, they certainly aired a lot of, remember when they aired Aqua Teen Hunger Force?
Did you have G4 Canada? Are you in Canada? Or did you just follow them?
No. I live in Florida.
Okay.
Primarily lived in Florida, lived in Philadelphia for 2 years. Of course, I mean, I had to have DirecTV, so I was one of the many people who was saddened when G4 was kicked off of DirecTV's lineup, but I, kept around the final 2 years.
Yeah.
For G4TV.com and eventually torrenting AOTS and XPlay.
Oh yeah. I mean, you got to do what you got to do if you want to still get it.
Eventually,
drops it.
when I moved back to Florida, I first got AT&T Uverse, and they still had G4 in their lineup. So,
yeah, I think my lineage of getting G4 was I had Tech TV first, and then I moved somewhere where they didn't have Tech TV, but they had G4 in 2002. So like I lost Tech TV, but then I got G4, and then eventually in the end, obviously we got both. So, but yeah, G4 Canada was a weird thing. Like not being able to like watch it, just seeing it from afar. Like yeah, you mentioned they aired like Aqua Teen. And they like
they got Metalocalypse and the U.S. Office, Freaks and Geeks.
Yeah, and then like
Certainly-
reruns of Call for
certainly-
Help.
Call for Help in the Lap of Leo, and also Gadgets and Gizmos in the morning hours.
Yep. Yeah, it was a weird thing. And from what I read, like in Canada, they regulate like what you can air really heavily. Like they say,
Yeah,
like,
I know about the fact that in Canada, their TV, a certain percentage of content aired on Canadian TV has to come from Canada, hence why Teletoon has freaking Johnny Test and also Forget About It.
Yeah, it's a weird place in Canada, and they outlasted us with G4. I think when did Canada go up there? It was like 2015.
It was 2017, the same year Esquire Network went off the air, which, by the way, as we all know, was meant to replace G4, but then ultimately replaced the Style Network. For many factors, including being on DirecTV. Said they was gonna take Esquire Network online, but never did, and awesome.
They just forgot about that. Yeah,
yes,
it is a wild story. Yeah. All right.
So, also, I can think of one show G4 Canada didn't air, but somehow someone edited onto the list of programs aired on G4 Canada page on Wikipedia, Randy Cunningham, Night Great Ninja, which was a Disney XD show.
Yeah, well, Wikipedia, you can get vandals in there. That's weird that's the thing that they would vandalize, though. But
yeah, it's just like how in November, back after the reunion show aired, I caught the Midnight Spank page, and it had something called Racer Max Waters, Slender in Nuketown, which I was convinced I knew from minute one, some kid just made that up completely.
Nice. I haven't gotten into Wikipedia editing, but I do sometimes check that talk section of Wikipedia just to see what kind of fights are going down there. A lot of times it's blank, but sometimes there are some good Wikipedia fights happening in the discussion section of Wikipedia pages. That's fun to check out. All right. Well, Austin, thanks for calling. Or did you have something else?
Oh, you too. And can I just say, you have had the most impressive glow up since your face was shown on G4's official soil on weekday mornings in 2008 on G4 Rewind.
I was actually looking at a clip of that today, and I was like, oh God, this looks so bad. Like, what was I doing back then? I was so skinny back then. Like, my metabolism was insane. But
also how they forgot the I in KnuxSonic, so spelled KnuxSonic.
Yes, they misspelled my name.
Like the YouTube poop from #1 of the Sonic movie called Sunk.
Yeah, and I actually didn't notice that at all until someone mentioned it in the Discord this year. So I don't know how I missed it, but they missed it.
Anyway, nice talking with you.
Thanks for the compliments. Thanks for calling in. Hopefully, maybe you'll call back again if we do another one of these. So thanks for calling in, Austin.
You too.
Thanks. Have a good one.
See you, Space Cowboy.
Bye now. All right. So that was Austin. Thanks for calling in, reminiscing about some G4 Canada and Wikipedia antics. Let's check in with the chat room. We got a lot going on in here. Midnight Vesper, boop-de-boop. I believe this is how did you feel the day they played Sonic Boom from Sonic CD on Cinematech thanks to you? That was like, definitely one of the peaks of pinnacles of my life, getting my screen name on TV. We got another call here. Let's see who this is. Hello, thanks for calling AOTUGUCPTSAPPG. This is Brian. Can I get your name and where you're calling from?
Hello, this is Angel Camacho, Angel Cam 7, over in Brooklyn, New York, yeah.
Angel Cam 7, I've seen you chatting a little bit today. What's up? What do you want to talk about?
Well, I just wanted to share, like, some good G4 memories, you know, like, I've been a fan, like, for a very long time. I mean, not as long as, like, from, like, the Tech TV days, but, I mean, I discovered it, like, by chance on cable TV, and I just figured I liked what I saw. You know, like, it was one of the old X-Play episodes, and then just kept watching it ever since.
Nice. What year did you catch on to G4?
Wow. I think it was probably around maybe 2004 or 5, I think. Okay, I'm not entirely certain. But, yeah, but... after a while and getting my own, well, at the time it was a satellite dish with DirecTV, but yeah, I started, because I also mentioned how I have like a whole bunch of VHS tapes of recorded G4 TV stuff.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yep,
oh,
you better start converting those to digital before they go bad.
Yeah, man. But here's the thing, though. I was recording a lot of stuff. I mean, I got like tapes that are probably in the triple digits now.
Nice.
Well, like most of them are like 8-hour tapes.
Oh, that's a lot of data to eat up too. You know, they do have like places. I've seen there's places that you can like mail your VHS tapes to, and they'll like convert them or put them on a flash drive or something. I don't know how expensive that is, but.
Well, I mean, I do have plans to like send them away to someone. Maybe, you know, like they could do that, and you know, like, I mean, my hope is like just to have these floating somewhere in the YouTubes or like any video stuff, you know.
Yeah, yeah. There's not. It's unfortunate. Like right now, we don't have a archive of this stuff other than YouTube, and you know, some of that quality is not great. It's better than nothing, but.
I mean, admittingly, some of my early stuff, since I was recording it on DirecTV, the volume quality, not the best in the world, but I'm still able to hear it. I'm still able to see it. But still, you know, like, I've had these going for a good long while. And then, of course, G4 was really how I started, you know, like, getting into Twitter.
Oh, yeah, really?
Yeah. Yeah, when I signed up for Twitter and whatnot, just, you know, it was just with the intention of just like answering some tweets, you know, following X-Play, AOTS, trying my best to get on.
Did you ever get on the air?
Oh yeah. I actually managed to be on the Twitter wall on like some occasions. They had like the little tickers where they would talk about you know, like questions that for Twitter people to answer. Some of my tweets would be on there, and like on most, because there are weekend shows on Attack of the Show. Usually when the Twitter wall shows up, you see my Twitter handle, AngelCam7, just floating around there. That's how dedicated I was. I was one of their regulars.
Permanently, huh? Nice.
I think even like close to the ending of, or maybe it was around 2012. I actually answered a Twitter question and ended up getting an Attack of the Show T-shirt.
Nice, yeah. That's something that I have a number of G4 shirts too, and it was nice that they would occasionally just send out a shirt like thank you or just for whatever.
So
I don't have
to
an
this
AOTS
day.
one now.
Yeah, to this day, that's the only G4 related shirt that I got so far. But who knows, you know?
But did you get one of the new ones at all yet? Did you?
I did not. As soon as I heard of it, like it was already too late.
But I'm sure they'll sell some though soon.
Yeah, I'm sure. But you know, like, and of course, you know, like talking about G4 and all that, it wasn't just X-Play and Attack of the Show that I enjoyed. I also mentioned Cinematech. That was, you know, it was very cool. Like, it was a way of like for people that like didn't notice any like specific things about the games and whatnot. Like one episode of Cinematech I still remember fondly had like a little celebration of Sonic the Hedgehog, like a little Sonic video in the Sonic Mega Collection of the GameCube.
Nice, yeah. And they would do, sometimes they do theme episodes where it'd be like, this is all, Splinter Cell or Metal Gear Solid episodes, that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, like
nice
or the time that they combined it with or I think like teamed up with GameSpot, I believe, and did like dedication episodes for like the classic systems, like the year of gaming and whatnot. Yeah.
Nice.
And,
yeah.
And then yeah.
Yeah, I definitely hope. We know that Attack of the Show and X Play are coming back. Hopefully, Cinematech and some of those other shows will be the next wave or something, right?
Yeah. And let's face it, if it wasn't for G4, I don't think I would have ever known about E3 to begin with, let alone the other gaming conventions out there in the world,
Yeah, they were really, for a number of years, they were the only, if you didn't go on the internet, you didn't have a way to see those things. And even then on the internet, like a lot of times you needed high speed, maybe you didn't have it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think all the times that I've tuned in to G4 is like, because I would say like getting in the know with the gaming news and whatnot. I think that's what helped also to like land my first job working at GameStop.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Did you get any? Did you say you're still working there now, or?
Oh yeah, still work there. 12 plus years, going on 13 in April.
Tell me that you got some employee stock that you've been building up, and now you're a millionaire.
Well,
did that happen?
Nah, I'm not that. I'm not that savvy with the Wall Street and whatnot. Even though I live in New York, like the whole stock market thing, that kind of confuses me. But like
I don't understand it either. But
I'm doing okay despite that. So
nice. Well, Angel, it's Angel Cam 7, right? Is that what you go by in the chat?
Or Angel, it's all good, whichever.
Yeah, thanks for calling in. Hope to see you again if we do this again. I don't know when we'll have another episode, but just keep an eye out.
Well,
thanks for calling.
I look forward to it. Hope to chat with you again.
All right, thanks. You have a good one. All right, that was Angel. We got time for maybe like one more call here. Let's check in the chat. I know there's a lot of VCR talk going on. And I don't know, is it raining? Is that what you're saying? Holy bananas, the rain is staying high right now. Is it raining in LA? Spooey says, set up a VCR with the tape, start recording and go to work or sleep or whenever. Build up a bunch and then edit when you have the chance. It will save you a ton of money long term. He's talking about converting VHS to digital. Just start it up and then do it overnight. That's a good idea. It's 11 degrees, Spooey, where you're at. It is. That's you must be in the northeast somewhere, is my guess. It's not that cold where I'm at. I think it's in the 30s or something here. -7 tomorrow night. Yeah. Yeah, so a couple of good calls there. I don't know what happened to our phone number thing there. Yeah, okay. I think we'll mark this one down. That phone number does not look like... we need to find a better spot for that, so we'll go ahead and mark that one down. Phone number, location. Is there anything else that went bad here tonight? No, I don't think so. It was pretty successful as far as technical issues go. We got another call. They hung up, or I hung up on them. I don't know what happened there. Okay. Yeah, I think fairly successful show, other than me saying about 1 million times, but that's par for the course for me. I think if that person doesn't call back, we'll wrap it up here. I will, as far as the future of this show, we'll see that. Oh, there they are, they're back here. Hello, thank you for calling AOTUGUCP:TSAPPG. This is Brian. Can I get your name and your location?
Yeah, my name is Jesse, and I'm from Kearns, Utah.
Jesse from Kearns, Utah. What's up, Jesse?
Hey, man, how's it going? I'm watching your show. It's going well, man.
Yeah, thanks. I think it's going better than I thought it was. So, but
very impressed with everything you're doing all by yourself. Honestly, it's sweet. I like this.
It definitely is. I wish I had an extra arm to hit buttons and stuff, but it's going all right. But
yeah.
What do you want to talk about tonight? What's going on with you?
Oh, just reminiscing the whole good old days of G4. I remember my cousin, had it at his house way back. I think I was definitely in elementary back then.
Oh man.
And I remember we were watching all sorts of stuff. We were watching Judgment Day, Electric Playground, Arena, all sorts of stuff on
Nice.
there. And then it just brings me back to those good old days of playing. And I remember I forced my parents to basically switch to Comcast so we could watch it.
Yeah, so it hit you right in the elementary school years, and that's like prime nostalgia years. And nostalgia is a very powerful drug, especially now that everything gets rebooted and remade, and now G4 is getting remade. So,
oh yeah.
Did you have a favorite show back then?
Oh, that's a tough one. I feel like, geez, a lot of that lineup I really loved. I loved the G4TV.com talk show. I thought that was awesome. Obviously, AOTS and X-Play will always be great. Filter and Icons was probably one of my favorites. I kind of learned something, out of watching TV.
Yeah, and that was like little documentaries like that weren't really a thing back then very much. So Icons especially was kind of a groundbreaking thing, I think. And honest, yeah,
Icons was great. And I think honestly what made G4 so impactful to like people like us is you can tell that like every show had character built into it. You know what I mean? Like you could tell like that show was passion driven by somebody, or groups of people.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. That is a very I'd say a key thing with like early G4 and even some later stuff is that you could tell like some of those people who were working on that show were doing like 4 different jobs at once, and maybe not getting paid enough probably, but they were doing it because they liked what they were doing and they got to be on TV to talk about video games. And I mean, who else can say they get to do that? So yeah, there's definitely a lot of like passion that you can tell in some of those shows.
Yeah, and it inspired me a lot too. I mean, I ended up going to school for communications and TV and video production, and I when I was a kid I said one day I'm going to work for G4, and then they went under, and I was like, dang it.
Yeah. But now you've got a second chance. They're back again. So like, have you checked out their jobs page yet?
I did. I applied for them just to like throw it out there, but I didn't try, but I threw it out there to say, hey, at least I tried. I don't know if I'm willing to leave Utah, because I think they probably want people local, but yeah, I mean, if you ever need any help with like any of your stuff, I mean, I'm sure I could learn from you, man. Like I said, you.
Well, if you went to school for it, you probably know more than I do. I'm just self-taught.
Nothing was. No, I mean, I know how to film and edit, you know, and I know how to, you know, do post-production stuff, but how you're doing everything like live like that, again, kudos to you, man, and I appreciate, you know, you going out of your way to like keep all this alive.
No, thank you. I have more motivation that now it's back. I definitely, I think like a lot of us, we kind of, once G4 had been gone for a couple of years, we figured, you know, that's the end of that. And, but after, I think that with everything, with all media now, there's like this sort of this resting period where like you kind of burn out on it. And then, you know, 4 or 5 years down the line, you're like, oh, I really missed that thing. And then it's like they hear you and they pick up on it, like, we need to reboot that. We got to reboot this. We got to remake this thing. If it's, you know, whether it be Ghostbusters or G4 or King Kong versus Godzilla, everything gets brought back at some point. So,
and you know what? If anything good came out of 2020, it was the reboot of G4, and there's definitely an audience for it. You know, people say, well, I mean, even if it was to come back, I think it's going to come back in all sorts of ways. But even in the TV aspect of it, you know, if you like to play golf, you'll watch golf. If you like to cook, you'll watch, you know, things about cooking. You know, there's just very specific things that people will just sit down and watch because they love it. Even if they're not, like, I don't play video games as much as I used to, but I can still watch it because I like to see, you know, like I said, it's very passion driven, G4.
Yeah, there's lots of niches that they can. There's lots of gaming niches that, you know, I don't like to play certain types of games, but I like to watch other people play certain types of games, just to see, you know, how it's done. I think their challenge is going to be the gaming's a really crowded place with Twitch and with YouTube and all of that. There's tons and tons of people watching, but there's even more tons of people making the stuff. So they've got the brand name. That's something they've got in their favor.
I think, I think if they can continue on like the path of the beginning of G4, where you had like that more original content, and then like with X-Play and AOTS, where you got those little skits of, you know, them putting their own passion into it again, I feel like that's what people will cling on to. Yes, they can get video game news anywhere in the world, but they're going to look for those personalities. And I feel like if they can cling on to that still, G4 will have a good chance.
Yeah, they've got to nail that style that they had. But if they can do that, then they've got a uniqueness, and they've got a lot of people like you and me who have nostalgia for it and will latch on to it because of it's a thing that we recognize from the past that gives us, you know, that serotonin rush. So
agree.
Yeah, well, thanks for calling.
I don't want
to sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't want to take up too much. I just said I don't want to take up too much of your time. I just wanted to say appreciate your show right now, me watching it, and I can tell you put a lot of work into it. So I just wanted to reach out and say that, man.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. And thanks for calling in. And you have a great rest of your night.
You as well. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Bye. Yeah. I really kind of, a little bit of secret here. A lot of the stuff that the graphics and stuff have been reused from other channels that I run, but that's not to say not a lot of work went into this, but I really kind of did just have this idea last week, 2 weeks ago or something, and I'm just looking for ways to stream because I bought this equipment and I'm not using it, so I was like, well, let's do, you know, I know some stuff about G4. I used to have this site, so it's coming back, and why not just do this thing? So we'll try this again maybe. I think this is a pretty successful stream, and we'll make some adjustments here and there. And we got another call. Let's answer this from the 518. Hello, thanks for calling AOTUGUCP:TSAPPG. This is Brian. Can I get your name or screen name and where you're calling from?
This is Spooey, and I'm calling from upstate New York.
Oh, Spooey, it is nice to talk to you. We have talked online for years, back and forth. It's good to finally talk to you over this phone.
caught most of the stream, and I wanted to say thanks for putting this together. I know you're one of the more dedicated viewers over the last several years, and everybody appreciates the work that you do for this.
Thank you. My motivation comes and goes, probably like most people, but I think you, I mean, Spooey is the. What was your? They gave you a title at once. What was that title for X-Play?
I think I was the unofficial episode archivist, I believe was what they gave me. Something along those lines.
Yeah, and I think I told the story earlier, and I don't know if you were in the chat yet at that point, but I think I remember something like where they lost track of what episode they were on or something. Didn't they come to you? Am I dreaming that?
Actually, Letitia Caparez, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, was the original web coordinator at Tech TV. And then, from my understanding, is once they moved from San Francisco to Los Angeles, she stayed behind. And nobody really kept track of the episodes. So I had kept them for my own personal records. And when I started originally watching X-Play, I was working nights. So a lot of times I would just record the episodes, and I figured I'll just go back and watch them, and I never got rid of them. And then I just figured, well, I might as well keep them. It's a good show. So I assembled a huge library of VHS tapes, basically, and wrote up the episodes. And then kind of when they were about 2 weeks out from their 300th episode, I just posted it on their forums, and I said, hey, everybody, here's, since nobody else apparently has a record of it, here's the first 100. And then I know Matt Kyle saw it, and I believe Shane Satterfield and Adam, so they all kind of posted, and they're like, thank you for having this. And Matt kind of said, you've got like an episode here that's not an official episode, and you have this episode that got it twice, but otherwise, feel free to keep doing it. So I just kept updating it for the next couple of years, and then unfortunately life went in a different direction towards the end of 2008, and my understanding is they just kind of took it over as like the official guide behind the scenes at that point.
Nice. Yeah. And you said you had, like, in chat, you said you had like 3 terabytes of episodes so far, right?
That's just for the one drive. Because unfortunately I lost some recordings that I had back in 2009. One of my hard drives went, and a lot of the G4 Rewind content that I had like episodes of Blister, Arena, things like that, unfortunately are gone now. But since then, when I started backing them up, now I dual back up the drive. So if anything ever happens to one, I could always clone that drive to another one. So
nice.
So I've got about technically I have like a little over 7 terabytes worth of stuff currently archived.
Man, and so if X-Play's coming back, and let's just fantasize for a second and say they are going to be in 4K, will you archive those episodes? And if so, do you have a mortgage that you can take out to handle all of the hard drives you'll need to buy for that?
Well, it depends on if I get those cease and desist letters for the episodes I currently have up right now.
You haven't so far, right?
I have not. It's
okay.
Odd. I actually lost a few channels very early on in my history with YouTube. I uploaded, I don't know if you remember the original Daily Show with Craig Kilborn?
Yes.
I uploaded a clip of that online back in, I want to say like 2007 or so maybe. And 2 days after that was when like the big Viacom bust on like anything that was under Comedy Central came out. So like they instantly banned like 40,000 accounts like 2 days later, and I was like, if I just waited 3 days, I wouldn't have uploaded that clip, But for whatever reason, X-Play, I've never had any issues getting anything saying I couldn't hear them. I've had a few content blockers show up, but it's usually for like wrestling commercials, oddly enough, or just any audio that they seem to think belongs to a wrestling corporation. I've had weird. Maybe 3 or 4 old episodes where I've had issues, and then for a while I had the HD feeds would not go up. And then a few people alerted me to the fact that over the last maybe 7-8 months, suddenly a lot of those episodes that were once banned, or not necessarily banned, but you couldn't upload them, are suddenly now going through. So it's kind of odd that as the network's coming back, more content is actually able to go up than there was previously. You'd think it would be the opposite for that.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a mystery. I don't know exactly how it works behind the scenes with like what's okay to upload and what's not. I know that there's like companies that they employ sometimes that are like the watchdogs that look for their content, and it's all probably automated at this point. But I've definitely had several G4 Rewind channels banned, and I don't know, I can't remember why or what episode did it, but I eventually just gave up because one, you've been blowing it out of the park with X-Play stuff. Like you're doing like an episode a day now, it seems like, right?
I do. I actually only have, I think, 2 more currently up set to premiere because I only had it till the end of the month. And then we had an audio issue with the retro episode where they do all the flashback games from, the early 80s.
Yeah.
So I have to go fix that. I have a few that are uploaded, but I have to go in and try to organize them. So that might be like a weekend activity for me right now, is trying to get like the next 20 or so that I have at least uploaded straightened out. Then I'll have to go and hopefully capture the rest and then edit them and move them over. Unfortunately, my TV capture device is no longer compatible with my new computer, so I have to rely on my 2011 computer to do that, and that's the one that's slowing down. So it's a process of basically going from one, getting the hard drives, running it through there, converting it over, and then transporting it to this one, trying to edit it, and then trying to get it back offline. So it's a little time consuming for that, but that's the goal for the long term.
Nice. And we can plug your channel. Is it a Spooey News channel? Is that what it was? What's your...
It's new Spooey channel, and I basically called it that because I had at the time 2 other older Spooey channels.
Okay.
I just figured I had no real intention of uploading anything, honestly, from G4. It was going to be like a gaming type of channel where I'd upload clips.
Mm-hmm.
And one day I believe I started with, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was an episode of Cheat that I put up. As a kind of a test, I ran a DVD through my PlayStation 3 and then used the upscale filter to 1080p. And I was like, I'll go ahead and put this out. And a couple people found it all of a sudden. And then we're like, where did you get this? How do you have this? Do you have more? So I thought, all right, as I got more time, I would go and put more stuff up. And then slowly, as it I think people took more notice of it, there was more of a demand to get it out there. So when I knew the new G4 was coming back, I figured, why don't I just go and try to get at least the old Tech TV episodes that I have and get those up. So that's been my goal for the last couple months, is to get at least the Tech TV ones up.
Well, it's awesome, and the internet owes you a debt of gratitude. And I've seen you post those on the There's a Facebook G4 fan and alumni group that Midnight Vesper runs, and maybe can put a link to it in the chat. But I know you post them on there, but also it sounds like people can go to search YouTube for a new Spooey channel, right?
Yep. And honestly, if you do a search for just X-Play, I'm probably going to get like maybe 5 or 6 of the top 10 if they come in at this point. It's if you look up anything for like Spooey X-Play, I'm sure it'll show up. I really haven't checked myself to see what a Google search for my own name would be for that, but I'm guessing it's probably going to be very easy to do that if you needed to. But
nice. I do want to ask you.
The chat, that's entirely up to you.
Yeah, if you want to put a link in the chat for sure. I know Midnight Vesper just dropped the link for the Facebook fan group. I do want to ask you before I let you go. The new X-Play, do you think do you have a prediction for what that's going to be like? Are they going to have Adam and Morgan? Are they going to bring in fresh faces? What do you think is going to happen there?
I'm thinking Adam's going to be at least a part of it, since he's still doing the videos now for it. If I had to make a prediction, I know a lot of people they're all hoping like nothing's changed for the last 20 years. It's all going to be exactly how their most fondest memory is. But I think the reality is that they'll probably start off with a lot of familiar faces that we all know, and then kind of slowly phase in other people to the point where maybe those people kind of take a little bit of a backseat. They'll probably still be there in some capacity, but I think it's going to be a lot more fresh faces that you're going to see for the channel. And I'm fine with that as long as it's good entertainment.
Yeah.
I'm perfectly happy with having original hosts and having new content there.
Yeah, I think you're right on target there. I agree. I think we'll see a mix of old and new, and then maybe as time goes on, they'll phase in more new. But I do hope that they keep, I don't know. I would like to see like an old timers podcast or a group or a show that they have that kind of just brings in the geriatric G4 hosts and keeps giving them a platform of some kind to put out content.
It makes me wonder though, who was the eldest host that was on G4? Not excluding anybody who might have come over from Tech TV. Do we know like what the current age range would be? I guess for
oldest in like terms of age.
Yeah, because I know when you said like the geriatric host, I'm thinking like, who actually is the oldest host that's on there? Would you say?
Well, we're not counting like a Leo Laporte that didn't actually make it over. Midnight Visitor says Scott. I don't know. Scott's in his 50s, I think, or late 40s. Sessler's probably in his 50s.
Would Victor Lucas? You think maybe he's still doing a lot of content though. I'm not
think
sure
he's
how.
in his...
I don't know, but I do believe Judgment Day. I believe was there from the beginning. Am I mistaken on that?
Yes. Yeah. Judgment Day was there to start. Yep.
I actually didn't get the network till the next year, so I missed out on the first year for everything.
Oh yeah.
So like Game On and the original first wave of Arena, that was already gone before I started with the network.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's probably one of those three: Scott or Adam or Victor Lucas. Those guys they're still in their 40s or 50s. They can certainly still play games. I know Scott Rubin's still playing games, and obviously Victor is, and I think Sessler kind of it seemed like maybe he was out of it a little bit, but he's back in now.
Yeah.
And certainly he's not going to play as many games as he did when he was hosting a daily TV show about video games, but I think he was still playing, just not at the capacity he had to when it was his job. So, but
do it for pleasure than for work,
Yes, absolutely, yeah. But Spooey, thanks for calling in. Thanks for being the
You're welcome.
Archivist for X-Play. And
I know you got things to do, but I did want to say, I probably wouldn't be even uploading stuff like I am to YouTube now if it wasn't for the G4 Rewind FTP that you used to host way back when I used to put the episodes up for
So we used to have
a lot of the credit goes to you.
We used to have for those who don't know, we used to have an FTP server where you could upload G4 clips and download G4 clips. And this was in the days before YouTube was super popular or super accessible. And it wasn't very long that it was up. It was a couple of months. And then my web provider was like, what is this? Why are you doing this? And shut it down. But I still hear people talk about it all the time. Like, when's that FTP coming back? And I'm not sure. I don't think we need it anymore. We've got YouTube. We have you uploading episodes every day. But thanks for calling in.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
and thanks for doing this.
Yeah,
you're
welcome.
The community very much appreciates the work you've done for this and in the past. And if I can even mention the GB's video that I think showed up on AOTS several years ago with the phone.
Yes, I also looked at that video today as well, and I put it back in the folder where I found it and did not bring it with me today. So, but thank you for reminding me of that. But thanks for calling and everything you're doing with the uploads, and maybe we'll talk again soon on a future episode if we do another one of these.
We'll see how it goes. Well, enjoy your evening and have a good evening to everybody else that's watching right now.
Thanks, you too, and stay warm up there. Bye. All right, let's do a last check-in with chat before we wrap things up here. Midnight Vesper says Tommy maybe. Yeah, that might be right. Tommy Tallarico of Judgment Day, and now he is the CEO of Intellivision. Wild career for that guy. But that was Spooey, the unofficial as close as official as you can get of X-Play archivist saving the day when the episode numbers got lost when X-Play moved to G4 from Tech TV. But that's going to wrap it up, I think, for today. I don't know how to end the show. I didn't add like credits or anything. I don't have an exit plan. So I'm just going to say thanks for watching. Thanks for calling in if you called in. Thanks for chatting if you chatted in. We're going to do probably, I think it's safe to say we're going to do another one of these because enough people watched it. But hopefully we have some other things to talk about. If you guys have ideas for what topics to talk about or segments, I'm happy to collect those and give you credit. If you're interested in co-hosting or hosting or helping in some way, let me know. I have I've got I have RV, who is creating some music for the show that you heard at the beginning, and I'll probably have him do some more. But if you do graphics, if you do stuff like that, let us know and we can take a look. Midnight Vesper says each episode about a G4 Tech TV show. Yeah, that's what I think too. You know, going in and just kind of talking about a show each time would be good. I think once G4 gets going, we can do a segment about like, here's the best of this week's or this month's. I don't know what interval we're going to do these shows, but we can do like sort of just a highlight reel of like, here's the funniest things G4 did this week or whatever it may be. And then we can do the history stuff and then do call-ins. I would like to do interviews with ex-G4 people. I know some of them have said they'd be interested in doing it. But that was years ago when I floated an idea years ago. Like I'm talking like 10 years ago, 5 years ago. So I'd have to see if they're still interested, but if we could get some old hosts, that would be fun as well. But thanks for everyone for watching. Like I said, I don't have an exit plan, so I'm going to click the stop streaming button. Maybe next week we'll have a fancy outro or something like that. But for now, I will just say thanks for watching, everyone, and keep an eye on our Facebook page, G4 Rewind, Facebook page, G4 Rewind, Twitter. It's probably the best place right now. Maybe I'll spin this out into its own Facebook page so it doesn't get wrapped up. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again when we see you. I'm hitting the button now.